We're so excited to be your children. We're so happy that you are our Father, God. And we have come with me. This is no other expectation than just to give you praise today, God. We glorify you. We magnify you. We want to encounter you today, God, in a real way. We ask that your presence be manifest in this place, God. We decree and be declared today, God, that we will see change our healings. There will be breakthrough. There will be deliverance, God. The chains will fall. Mountains will crumble in your presence today, God, because we know that you are the Lion. We know that you are the Lamb. And there is nothing that's great for you. There is nothing that you can overcome today, God. And so we just glorify you. We press into your presence today, God. Come on, you know this one. Come on, stand again. distractions and just press in for just a minute. Father, He's got you. He is for you. He's working on your behalf, even if it may not seem like it. No matter what craziness is happening in the world, one day.
This morning, God, to corporately praise you, God. We thank you right now, God. Hallelujah. We worship you in spirit and truth with a humble heart, God. Hallelujah. Everything we are is yours this morning, God. Everything that we have is yours this morning. Hallelujah, Father. For you are worthy of praise, God. You are worthy of honor. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You are worthy of praise. You close to us. We're going to change into we're already here. We're already here. Just because we do another song doesn't mean we're doing anything different. We're already in His presence this morning. We're already here. He's already here. We just want to continue to praise Him this morning. We want to continue to just focus on Him this morning. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God. Hallelujah. 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 I'm going to go back and do that third verse because I want you to believe this. Because I am evidence that my God is real. I am a miracle. My heart has been healed. So come and witness for yourself. He is real. Hallelujah. 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 Oh, hallelujah. 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 Come on, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes, God, we say yes to you this morning. I want you to get your tithe and your offering ready right now. We're going to just worship Him with our giving this morning. We're going to keep going just a little bit longer, but you have an opportunity to bring your tithes into the storehouse this morning so you can be released to give at this time. Father, we thank you for the givers, God. We thank you for the sowers, God. We thank you for the givers, God. We pray, God, that you would bless them abundantly above anything they could ever ask or think, God. We thank you, God. We bless them, God. Father, we thank you, Father, for everything, God. Hallelujah. 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 I want to go to this next just little chorus right now that I felt like the Lord had given me this morning, and now my mind is lost. But you know what? I have a great backup. They're going to help me because I don't want to miss. Because God is able to do anything for you this morning that you need. He is able, He's willing, and He's there. Hallelujah.
and not give up on God.
That's right.
So we got a testimony about not giving up on God. Even in the crisis that we're in now, you still have to do what you're supposed to do to God. Because if you don't give up on God, God won't give up on you.
All right, guys. I wanted to get up here and tell you all that I love you. God loves you. But it's in my spirit to go to Pastor and ask him if I could come up here and just speak a little bit on being obedient to the principle of tithing, because the last 2 months have been difficult for everybody. So many people have been, it has been devastating for so many people. And through it, my husband, who I watch from afar, continuously gives from his pocket, from our pocket, on top of his tithe, our tithe. I separate it because I'm still in awe of how obedient he is to the principle of tithing. And I'm up here to tell you that there's a new car in the parking lot that we got yesterday, and that was not us. That was him. It was all God. All of it. We went out for a test drive. We went into a certain place. They treated us poorly. We left. And then God just pointed over to the car in a different lot. So I get up here to tell you that we are not rich. We're not financially overflowing with money. But God always provides for our needs. Every single need we have, He provides. Because this one, and myself, but this one is steadfast on tithing and then an overflow of offering that I've never seen before. And still, we have enough and then some. That's that car in the parking lot, that's all God. Through a pandemic, through me not working, that is all God. We didn't have to sacrifice, we didn't have to give anything up. That is all God. So I really wanted to give Him all the praise, because through this season, you wouldn't expect to be able to have a blessing like that. So I want to encourage you to never be afraid to tithe, and then give a little something extra, a little sweet piece of candy, a little gift extra on top of it, because it always flows right back in. So that's all I wanted to say to you guys. Don't be afraid, because tithing works. It all comes back to your house.
Don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. Don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. Don't give up on God, 'cause He won't give up on you. He said,
Come on, how many know that God is able? How many know that God is able? God is truly a miracle worker. As they were singing that song, Living Proof, somebody brought it to my attention. And I didn't really realize what that verse really said. It says, I'm evidence that my God is real. I am a miracle. My heart has been healed. Where's my little heart that has been healed? Sometimes we don't really understand why we go through. But living proof that our God is real.
Yes, sir.
And see, that's the most important thing, that people realize that God is real. We worry about what we're going through, but God is saying what you're going through is nothing, because I can bring you through what you're going through. I can hold you up. I can sustain you for what you're going through. The key to it is, can you go through it long enough that people can see that I'm real? See, I'll bring you through it, and I'll make a miracle out of you. But what you are, you willing to go through it so people can see that I'm real. This is our real miracle.
That's right.
Yes.
God healed her heart. Everything the doctor said, God reversed. Even up to the last, God still reversed. And she's doing so good. Hey, man. Yeah, baby. Oh, we thank God. Because sometimes you have to see evidence. You have to see proof that God is real. I seen the car. I love it. Somebody said, you want to test drive? No, I don't want to get behind the wheel of that. I'm not self-disciplined enough to stay within the frame of the speed limit. So I can say no. I can truly say no. But it's a blessing to be here. God is so good. We just thank God for you. We thank God for everything He's done. I thank you for being in the house. I'm just so glad to be in the house. To be able to look at you face to face. I can't give you a hug. I can't shake your hand, but I can give you a virtual hug. Elbow bump, but we got to keep within the guidelines. Well, just a quick announcement. I will post it again in our leaders page. But SNL is tonight. Leadership Zoom call tonight with Pastors Dave and Jennifer Reagan. It's at 6 p.m. It'll be on Zoom. I will send that Zoom information on our Messenger leaders page and our regular Messenger page. So please be on the lookout for that, because that's where we get our training. That's where you update on anything that's coming up. So you really need to be on that call if you are a leader. If you're aspiring to be a leader, be on that call. That call is very important. Also, next Sunday, hey, Christian, stand up. Where you at? Stand up. Stand up. It seems like COVID-19, tried to stop it, but it couldn't fully stop it, because we still can give them honor.
That's right.
And he belongs to this house. So we got him, Jaden, and if Malcolm comes Malcolm, we're going to honor them next Sunday. Right. So please come just so we can honor them. We're going to have a way that you can honor them without touching them. It would be from a distance. But we want to honor them because God has truly blessed them. They had a milestone in their life. They've accomplished something that very few accomplish sometimes. Especially this day and time, the dropout rate is very high in high school, but they made it through. Right. They completed. Right. They are done. They're ready to step to the next phase of adulthood. So we want to honor them. Now, we get to our lesson. It says that His purpose is larger than my circumstances.
Yes, amen.
Part 3. Yeah, this thing keeps going on. y'all just get it on Sunday. I got to live with this thing all through the week while He's giving it to me. I got to go through this thing. But God is still awesome. It says purpose is the reason why something is done or used, the aim or intention. That's what I want to use for this morning's lesson. The reason why something is done or used, the aim or intention. Larger. It says having more than usual capacity or scope. Exceeding most other things, especially in quantity, in size, in abundance, and in a large manner. Circumstances. a condition or fact that affects a situation. Turn with me please to Job. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm not going back. I think I'm done with Exodus. I think I'm done with that. But we're going to talk about Job. Job is talked about a lot. Job really gives you a clear understanding of his purpose sometimes is greater than what you're going through. Now, a lot of folks don't realize that sometimes you go through things, people on the outside looking in will assume that you did something wrong, will assume that you messed up, or they assume a whole lot of things, but they're on the outside looking in. So they really have no idea what God is doing on the inside. Because sometimes you don't have to do anything. It's just life. Things happen. The key to life is, can you still live and let God be glorified through your life? Job 2nd chapter, start at verse 3. I got a couple of scriptures. And it reads, it says, "And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God, escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity. Although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath would he give for his life. But put forth thy hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sores, boils, from the sole of his foot unto the crown. He took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal. He sat down among the ashes." Isaiah 6th chapter. Beginning at verse 1, it says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. It stood the seraphims, each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried. And the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips. And I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar. He laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this has touched thy lips, and thy iniquity is taken away, and thy sin is purged. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here I am, send me. I know y'all trying to figure out where in the world is he talking about, going there and there. We have the story of Job. In particular, we have Job that lost everything. I mean, Job, the Bible says, God said Job was an upright, perfect man. And Job was like this. Job was the richest man in the East. I mean, there wasn't a man that had more wealth than Job, that had anything more than Job. He had a bunch of kids. He had a bunch of livestock. He had a bunch of wealth. He was a blessed man above all men. And God said he was perfect. He was upright. And when we say perfect, I know most people think of perfect as being then, they just didn't do anything. But you got to remember, back then, they was able to do sacrifices to atone for anything they did. So what he did was he did the right thing. If he messed up, he said he went and asked for forgiveness by offering the blood of an animal. So much so that he went so far as to his kids would have parties at his son's house. They had all kind of parties. And what he did after the parties, he would go and have sacrifices for his kids in case they did something and sinned against God. That's an upright man. So that's why God said he was so upright. It's not that he might not have did anything, but he went and did the right thing. He went and got forgiveness. In the Old Testament, the only way to get forgiveness was by the blood of an animal. There was no other way. You can ask God for forgiveness, but you had to offer something. So there was a day that all of his sons were at one of his sons' house, and they was having we would call today a cookout. They were having a big cookout. There were a lot of them. But the Bible says while they was there, something happened. A wind came. Just imagine a wind coming so ferocious and so violent that it takes out that corner of the building. It takes out that corner of the building. Then it takes out this corner. And then it takes out this corner. What's going to happen to the building?
It's going to collapse.
It's just going to collapse. Well, it collapsed. So one of the servants that survived went and told him, all your kids are dead. Then somebody came and told him that he had just been robbed of all of his livestock. I'm thinking, how can a man be upright and then all these things happen? What did he do? How many times in your life do you go through something where you haven't done anything at all, but just life happens? What Job did was Job didn't do anything. It was just a test. God was proving a point with Job's life to the devil, saying that I don't care what you do to him, he's still going to stand. See, sometimes we go through some things, but we just don't stand the test of time. Because, see, some of us want to stand, but time has a way of breaking you down. You can stand long as it's in your time frame, which is for us is, 24 hours in a day. It's 7 days in a week. It's 30 days in a month, 31 days in a month, depending on what year it is. It might be 28, it might be 29 in a month. But that's our time frame. But then God steps outside of time and he looks and he says, don't go by that. I just need you to stand. Because see, sometimes your circumstances get so heavy. They're so bad that you want to give up. Just imagine somebody can give you some news that all of your seed is gone. Your legacy is gone. They were wiped out. How would you feel? How would you feel to go back home and realize that you ain't got nothing home? It's all gone. We're here at church now. When you get home, everything that you own, that you hold value, when you get there, it's all gone. There's nothing but a spot there. How would you feel? You go check your account, and there was a technical error, and instead of saying what you know you have, it said 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You ain't even got nothing to fall back on. See, we don't think about these things because we think these things can't happen to us. We think that when we read these stories that they're just stories. But sometimes you got to understand that God just wants to get glory. I can guarantee you, Kristen and Josh never wanted to go through what they
God puts out another challenge. But the enemy was there and he did all that and Job didn't waver. You know, that's a lot to lose in one day. You know what I'm saying? This thing happened like one day and then like a year later. No, this happened consecutively back to back. Hit him all at one time. And then God says something. He says that, you know, hey, you look, you found my servant Job. But he didn't know he had got everything from him. He said, for skin, let me touch him. Because if I know if I can touch him, his flesh, I can get him, affect his body, affect his mind. I know what he'll do. He'll curse you to your face. God said, all right, I'll remove the hedge. Do what you got to do, but you can't touch his soul. You can't kill him. Do everything you want to, but you can't kill him. And the Bible said he afflicted him. Could you imagine? I want you to think, if you don't know what boils are, look them up on Google. Just imagine, you know, zips that are really, 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 really big, but they're at the point where they're oozing.
Nasty.
Really big, but he had them on the bottom of his feet, top of his feet. Let every place on his body had boils. It was so that he couldn't even get no comfort. The only comfort he can get was the Bible said he had a broken piece of a pot, and he would sit down and rub himself to try to get, stop that. That's just nasty. But he can't get no comfort. So he attacked his body, his mind, his mental state. In so much that Job's wife finally spoke up and boy, cussed God and died. I don't want no wife like that. Curse him and die. We don't lost our kids. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no livestock. I ain't finna deal with you with that. I ain't touching you. Curse God and die. Job called her a silly woman. And he says this statement, he says, you know, shall we reap also what God gives us that's good? Shall we also reap what's not good? Because sometimes in life, things just don't happen. Life don't start or stop because you get saved. I don't know where they get this picture. I don't know where they get this saying that life is a bed of roses. They got thorns. My wife got roses. I hate it when she said, let's go cut them. When they go cut them. They got thorns. So while you're trying to cut, you know, out, I'm like, ooh, I get the chainsaw. If I could just get away with cutting them down, because she wants to go get them when and they be in the awkwardest places. It don't be on the outside of the flower. It's on the inside where you got it. And she got a rose tree that's taller than me. And it's big. And I need to go cut them roses off so I can get them rose petals. Oh, man. You gonna help me, right? Yeah. See, people tell you all the time that this walk is easy. Growing up, I was told that it was easy, that I just got to make my mind up. Well, I found out that it's not easy. Because what was good to me before I got saved, when I got saved, it didn't stop being good to me. That's the first thing, you know, I figured out. I was like, well, it's still good because the earth still comes. Then I found out, just got to make your mind up and do it. It's easy, it's easy. As I begin to walk, I find out it ain't easy. Because circumstances begin to happen. Ain't it strange that the time that you're going through, how things begin to just happen, and it's like a domino effect. It just don't stop. You seem like there's no end. That's how Job felt. Out of the whole while, it had nothing to do with Billy Job. God was just proving a point. no matter what you do to somebody that loves me, they can stand. See, how many of you have God already been tested? I mean, have you stood yet? And when I say have you stood, I don't mean have you, that you backslide. Have you still been faithful to God? See, that's the key. See, the key is I can stand all day and say that I'm standing. But if I'm just standing and ain't doing nothing, I might as well be backing up. Because it takes more than just standing. I got to be able to stand and also operate in what he's called me to do. Because it's his purpose. See, some of you are called and you go through life and life hits you in the face. I mean, who has some situations? I guess I'm the only one. Who has some things happen? Who has some things happen in their mind? It ain't even happened in real life, but in your mind it has happened, and it's such a vivid picture that you think it don't happen in real life. Oh, that ain't gonna happen on y'all? Ain't none of y'all ever looked at somebody and the devil said they talking about you? Their mouth ain't even moving. They talking about you. They talking about you bad. They don't like you. The person ain't even thinking about you, but because in your mind you assume, and it becomes a reality. See, the reality was Job didn't even waver. Job had some, I don't want no friends like this. My friend circle getting smaller and smaller. And they're going to come and they're going to be accusers. Because in the Bible days, if you got things happen like that, it was because you did something. You sinned, you messed up. Your life wasn't what you said it was, so people started judging you. Right. How many of y'all get judged now? Because things don't go right. Even when you fall, you get judged. Now, that's part of it too. Job went through this whole thing, and he didn't waver. Job 14:14, Job talks about, he says, if a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time, I will wait till my change come. His purpose sometimes make you wait. I can use that for an example because we were right there with them through that whole process in the beginning until the end. That's a long process to go through. When every time you go to the doctor, it's a negative report. Every time you go to the doctor, the report seems like it gets worse and worse. But you still got to believe God. But everything that they're showing you with your vivid eyes you can see and with your natural ears you can hear is not lining up. But when God says, but you still got to believe God. Even if it's something that you got to carry, you still got to believe God. Because there's a purpose in that. That verse was so key, that man, it blessed me. Living proof. People didn't see living proof that God is real. Can God use you to show people that he's real? See, we're at a time now where people are really scared. I don't watch the news, so I can't tell you what the news is saying. I'm just being honest. I don't never watch the news. Sometimes I get some glimpse on my email from Yahoo, but I don't really do the news. But people are scared. What perfect time to show them a God that's loving and caring and that I walk them through this whole process. But can God use you to show people that he's real? Are you willing to stand the test? If a man died, will he live again? See, some of us are worried about the wrong thing. Paul said it like this. He said to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. That means I don't even die. What happens is just a shell. I got a new body anyway. Now don't get me wrong, I'm gonna tell you, I operating in what God has called me to do. Because see, his purpose is even greater than death. Oh, you don't believe it? Look at Jesus. God's purpose was to bring man back to him. Jesus had to go through death so that God's purpose could be fulfilled, so that you can be here today and say that I'm free. So his purpose is larger than my circumstances. Job 23:10 says, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he try me, I shall come forth as gold. Can somebody tell me what's the value of gold when it's just a clean bar? Is it valuable? Pure gold, if it's just a solid bar, is it valuable? Come on, just say yes or no. If you think it's valuable, just say yes or no.
Yes.
It's a question for real.
Yes.
Is it valuable?
Yes.
If I take the same gold, put it in a septic tank, let it stay for a week, take it out the septic tank, don't wash it off, and set it back on the table, has it lost its value?
No. Just thinking.
It might stay, but it don't lose its value. See, sometimes you might stay, but you don't lose your value. See, even if I take the gold that I just took out and put it in a pot and put some heat up on it and melt it, you know what's going to come up? That filth that was on it, all the impurities that was in it. All I do is skim it off, and guess what I still got? I still got gold. Hasn't lost its value because I put heat to it.
No.
You don't lose your value at all. But see, the reason that most people do is because they don't know that they're valued. See, you're walking around in this life, you're walking on this journey and have no idea what you're really worth. God said you're like a bar of gold. No matter what I do to you, you don't lose your value. So he said, bring your best shot, hear me? They don't lose their value. When you look at Job, he didn't lose his value. Matter of fact, he didn't lose his value so much that Job had a conversation with God because God called it a question. See, what God needs to do is call some of y'all a question. You don't need to have a conversation with me. You don't need to have a conversation with another pastor or a counselor. You need to have a conversation with God. You need to see God for yourself. And when God begins to talk to you, your eyes are open. Because when God began to talk to Job and question Job, when he got finished with Job, the only thing Job could do was bow down. Why? Because he found out that God can do whatever he want to do. And who am I to question God for using me? See, that's what some of you got to get. Isaiah. See, some of you got to get to the point because when you go through, the only thing that Job had was he had a lot. Because in the back of your mind, you would think that he would depend on what he had. See, some of you have a lot. Some of you have a few. This is the key. You can be rich and not have $1 million. It's a state of mind. Prosperity is a state of mind. Poverty is a state of mind. It's a mindset. I ain't got to have $1 million in my bank account. I ain't got to have a mansion. I'll take a trailer. Car paid off. Bills are paid. I ain't lacking nothing. Guess what? I'm rich. I'm not in poverty. I don't care what they say the poverty line is. It's a mindset. And if I believe every was himself. Now we get to Isaiah. In the year that King Uzziah died, the Bible says that Isaiah seen a vision. He seen something. He said, I seen the Lord high and lifted up. He said his train filled the temple. He seen God in such a way that he realized something. I'm not even worthy to be seeing what I'm seeing. I'm a man of unclean lips. I'm not worthy. See, the problem is some of us just think that we're always worthy enough and we take God for granted. This ain't supposed to happen because of who I am and you. It doesn't matter who you are. Look what he did with Jesus. You got to go back and read your Bible. Isaiah had to come to a place where he seen himself. So his circumstances was not greater than God's purpose. What God needed him to do was he needed to send somebody. And he needed Isaiah to find out to himself that you're not worthy for me to send in the first. But now that you see where you are, and now that you let me clean you up and purify you, now I can give you honor, that I'll be glorified. Now I can send you. See, some of you want God to send you, but you ain't ready. Why? Because you let your circumstances they've gotten to you. Well, how can you keep preaching on that? You ain't been through that. You ain't going through that. Yeah, I have. The key to going through is never stop. Is it easy to stop? Yes. Is it easy to stop? Yes. Is it easy to give up? Yes. That's the easy part. But I refuse to go back to the lesser when I have the greater in front of me. James 2:1. James 1:2 says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. I want to read it out of the translation. It says, my fellow believers, when it seems as though you are facing nothing but difficulties, see it as an invaluable opportunity to experience the greatest joy that you can. For you know that when your faith is tested, it stirs up power within you to endure all things. And then as your endurance grows even stronger, it will release perfection into every part of your being until there is nothing missing and nothing lacking. See, some of you don't want to go through your circumstances because you don't want God to show you you. Right. See, what you got to understand is if God has a purpose, then you need to see yourself. Right. I don't need to tell you who you are. You need to see who you are yourself. You need to look in the mirror yourself. We are looking for people to give us answers that we should be looking to God to give us for. Why? I didn't call you. I didn't ordain you. I didn't save you. I didn't redeem you. I'm just a tool. I'm just a tool. So when you look at all of these situations, all of these circumstances, you got to realize something. If I'm going through, it ain't got nothing to do with the situation. Maybe God is trying to do something in me. Because his purpose for me is greater than what's around me. His purpose in me is greater than what's happening to me. His purpose in me is greater than who's attached to me. His purpose is always greater than my circumstances. Close with this. It's one of my favorite scriptures. Isaiah 40. Verse 25 says, to whom then will you liken me, or shall I be equal, says the Holy One. So who are you counting on? Who are you likening God to? Who are you comparing God to? I hate it when the people try to compare, it's God over here, the devil here, like the devil is equal to God. There, it's just God and nobody else. Mm-hmm. He's not even on the same playing field with God. Mm-hmm. It's not good against bad, it's just God. Mm-hmm. So whom will you liken me, or shall I be equal, said the Holy One. He says, lift your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He called them all by names, by the greatness of his might. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth. I ain't read one time yet that God failed. Pastor Darrell, has God failed?
No, sir.
Pastor Darrell gave me a report this week. He went back. He gave the report. His body is doing what they say you shouldn't be doing. He's good. Yeah. See, everybody knows his testimony, but that young man there is good. Man, amazing. See, what we do is we look at the circumstances because of what they call it. And I'm not talking about the pandemic. Throw that out the way. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm off of that. I'm talking about life situations. What we call it. Anxiety, fear, depression. I can tell you the biggest one that gets most of us is called pride.
Yes.
I'm afraid to look at myself because I see myself as this. But if God showed me who I really am, I might not like it.
Right. Come on.
And I might have to change. I don't want to change because I like where I'm at. I like who I am now. But God is trying to call you up a little higher. In order to get up a little higher, you first got to see who you are now. So, his purpose is great. He says, why sayest thou, O Jacob, and speakest, O Israel, my ways is hid from the Lord, my judgment is passed away over from my God. Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard, that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not. You can call me sometimes, you might get me. It might be sometimes you might get my voicemail. You might send me a message, it might take me a minute to respond. It's a possibility you might not get me. But the Bible says he fainteth not. That means I can call him anytime. The Bible says that neither is he weary. Y'all, I do get tired. If you'd have called me this week on certain days, you might have not got me. Because I put my phone on silence and I got in the bed. I was hurting real bad with my shoulder, so I laid down. 2 days I laid down. I didn't get out of bed till that afternoon. So I just called my wife and said, hey, my phone on silence. I ain't gonna get it if you call. But God doesn't get weary.
Right. Right.
There is no searching of his understanding.
Right.
You might tell me something, I might not have no understanding why you did what you did.
Right.
But you tell God, and he embraces you.
Right.
He holds you. He gives power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. This is one of my favorite verses in the Bible. He says, but they that wait upon the Lord. When you go back and read the story of Job, and you read the end of Job, it was just the Lord he was waiting on. The Bible says they shall renew their strength. That means that even the circumstances have beat me down, they have made me weary, but I I can rise up. They shall mount on wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Closing. You're going to have some circumstances. You're going to have some situations. The key to it is can you still operate through the circumstances that God can do what he needs to do to perfect you, so that when people look at you, they'll know that he's real. See, right now, people need to understand that God is real, but God is looking for somebody that he can use to show people that he's real. See, your circumstances can engulf you. They can even overtake you, but they can't kill you. He says, nobody can pluck you out of my hand. He didn't give nobody, he didn't let the devil kill Job. He's not going to let the devil kill you. Sometimes you just got to go through it because it's purpose. You got to find the purpose yourself. His purpose is greater than my circumstances. Stand. Father, I just thank you, I praise you, I thank you, I praise you. There is none like you. I thank God that I'm mounting up my wings as an eagle. That's one thing I like about an eagle and his wings. He can fly through the storm. He can fly over the storm. He can fly around the storm. Some of you need to mount up. God, I thank you for this word, God. Touch their hearts. God, they need to see themselves this morning. God, there's a work to be done. There's a purpose to be had. God, they can't move any further unless they see themselves. And God, the only way they can see themselves is if you show them the mirror that you're looking in. God, when I see myself, I see the ugly truth. But I'm thankful that you're merciful and that you're gracious and that your love is everlasting to everlasting. God, that you forgive, that you wash and cleanse. God, that you make whole. God, that you strengthen. God, that you build up. God, because now when I look in the mirror, God, I see what you see. I see the real me. God, they need to see the real them. When they look in the mirror, God, let them see the real me. Touch their hearts, touch their minds. We thank you. We praise you because you're awesome and you're great. And God, you are real. We have too many witnesses in the building, God. Too many live witnesses in the building, God. You are real. You are real. And God, you can use me to prove to people that you are real. Because you did it before. And you can do it again. God, I thank you for the victory.